I'm Max Lopez. This is a Blue Wave. We have some new details about Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump's alleged relationship that has continued after Trump left office, in which they've talked on the phone at least 7 times, according to Bob Woodward's new book War, that's coming out on October 15th. That really shows exactly what would happen if Trump was to be reelected in Ukraine, and really what Trump means when he says that if he was president, that the war never would have happened and it would be over in a day if he was to be reelected, as well as some new details about how Trump and Putin have Trump delivered Putin COVID-19 supplies at the height of the pandemic. So we'll get into that Mediaite article here. Before we do, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with someone who's into politics after you're done watching. It helps YouTube take my channel more seriously and spread the word to more and more people. So let's go over here to Mediaite. Trump and Putin have had as many as 7 private phone calls since Trump left the White House, per Bob Woodward's new book. CNN obtained an advance copy of Woodward's revealing new book, War, which went behind the scenes of President Joe Biden's administration and touched on Trump's time in office, as both navigated recent foreign conflicts with world leaders. Among the revelations was Trump's seemingly special treatment of Putin, including during the COVID-19 pandemic. Woodward wrote that a former Trump aide recounted being told to leave a room so Trump could have what he said with a private phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Woodward adds, according to Trump's aide, there have been multiple phone calls between Trump and Putin, maybe as many as 7 in the period since Trump left the White House in 2021. Jason Miller, who served under Trump while he was president, now works for Trump's campaign, pushed back on the claim when asked about it by Woodward, saying, not that I'm aware of. Trump also supplied Putin with COVID tests during the pandemic, while the latter isolated. In 2020, Woodward writes, Trump had secretly sent Putin a bunch of Abbott point-of-care COVID test machines for his personal use. During the height of the pandemic, Russia and the United States did exchange medical equipment such as ventilators, but Putin, who infamously isolated himself over fears of COVID, told Trump on a phone call to keep the delivery of the Abbott machines quiet, Woodward reports. Please don't tell anybody you sent these to me, Putin said to Trump, according to Woodward. I don't care, Trump replied. Fine. No, Putin said. I don't want you to tell anybody because people will get mad at you, not me. They don't care about me. Two manipulators attempting to out-manipulate each other here. So this is very, very exemplary of exactly what would happen if Donald Trump, A, was elected in 2020, and if he was reelected when it comes to the conflict in Europe. Donald Trump has repeatedly said that if he was president, that the conflict would have never even started, and if he was to be reelected, that he would have it over in a day. Here's what he means when he says that. He means that he would do everything in his power to help Putin achieve his goals, because Putin, he's buddy with Putin, very evidently, and Putin projects this image of strength and resolve that people in Russia overwhelmingly do support and do look up to Putin as being a strong leader, unfortunately. And Trump very much wants that, right? We know how much he admires people like Kim Jong-un. And I went and read this CNN article talking about some of the details from Bob Woodward's book that we're getting a bit early before the October 15th release. And everyone should go and read this article. Fascinating stuff. And one of the things that was said is that Lindsey Graham has said privately that going to Mar-a-Lago is like a bit like going to North Korea, because when Trump enters the room, everybody stands up and claps, just like they do for Kim Jong-un in North Korea. And it's very, very clear that Trump wants that sort of admiration. And the fact that he doesn't get it from everyone in this country the way a Kim Jong-un or Putin does, it probably, that hits his ego. It probably drives him mad. It's why he loves going to these rallies so much, and the admiration and the fawning that he gets at these rallies. He loves it. He lives for it. It's basically it's what he's done time and time again, because it's what feeds his ego the most. And we know that that's what Trump is gonna do first and foremost. What feeds his ego. So yeah, if Trump was elected, it would be an absolute disaster for Ukraine because of how buddy they are. And if Trump wants to have the conflict end, it doesn't seem like he's done too much with his, hasn't worked the phone apparently too hard in these 7 times that he's communicated with Putin. And if Trump was president when Russia decided to invade Ukraine, we wouldn't have stood with NATO. We wouldn't have stood with Zelensky. We wouldn't have even delivered the national security intel that we delivered to Ukraine in the days prior, when, Kamala Harris, in fact, went to the Munich Security Conference and told Vladimir Zelensky, Russia is going to invade Ukraine imminently. And Zelensky either, he doubted it, either maybe a wishful thinking on Zelensky's part, but ultimately Russia did decide to invade. And let me tell you, Kyiv would have fallen. Kyiv would not be the capital of Ukraine, and Zelensky very well may be dead right now. Because Trump would embolden Putin to act however he wants and to not militaristically help out Ukraine in their fight against Russia, which would lead to further war. Because we know that Vladimir Putin has his sights set on more than just Ukraine. He said exactly so in his speech that he gave when on the day that Ukraine was invaded. He wants to recreate the USSR. So Trump's idea is to not help out Ukraine, embolden Putin, and have Putin maybe attack another country after satisfying his quench for thirst of absorbing Ukraine. Why would he stop there, right? So that's how we don't get less war by not supporting Ukraine in the war against Russia. The Ukrainians are in fact keeping the conflict from spilling over into greater Europe. And by supporting Ukraine militaristically, we keep a lid on that happening and keep Putin in place. On COVID-19, Trump has repeatedly tried to kind of project this strongman image when it comes to his treatment of the virus. And we know, that infamous instance when he took off his mask as some sort of projection of strength. And we know how much anti-vax and anti-mask conspiracy theories flourish in the right wing in the United States of America today. It's all for show, right? We know that for instance, Fox News, the Fox News hosts were getting vaccinated, and in fact, it was in one of their employee mandate to get vaccinated that they all knew about, and we're getting vaccinated, and personally we're taking steps to prevent the spread of COVID-19. But by day they were doing that, and then by night they were going on Fox News and on these national programs, the most watched news station in America, and lying through their teeth about treatment of effectiveness of different treatments of COVID-19. And they knew they were doing that, and they did it anyways because people were watching and people were buying it up. We know that the different COVID-19 treatments that have been put forth are effective. We know that masks are effective, and his whole anti-mask, anti-vax tendencies that he has perpetrated into national talking points. It's all for show. It's all because he wants to be seen as the strongest, best person ever. And God forbid that we put a piece of cloth on our face to prevent the spread of a deadly virus because I'm so strong and my immune system is so good that I don't even need to worry about it or something. I don't even know exactly why that would be seen as strong, not wearing a mask or not getting a vaccine. It's just craziness, and it costs people their lives. We know that the United States of America, we had some of the most excessive death here, if not the most amount of excessive death in the whole world from the COVID-19 pandemic. And Trump was telling people to, inject people into their veins, inject bleach into their veins, and to not wear a mask, and that the virus was no big deal, while simultaneously delivering COVID-19 aid to his buddy Putin, who was taking the virus seriously, and Trump apparently was taking it seriously enough to send aid to Putin, who's taking it seriously, who he seemingly respects and looks up to and admires and cherishes his opinion, Trump being Putin's. And so it's really telling about what Trump truly felt about the deadliness of the virus, and how important it was to take certain steps to getting different treatment options for the virus. What he was saying publicly on that matter and what he was doing privately were, surprise, real shocker, right? Two way different things. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with someone who's into politics, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, peace. Have a good one.